Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to week 3 of Law Enforcement Administration and Organization. We are going to continue on the evolution of policing system worldwide. So we are going to discuss the policing system in the modern period of England, France, and America. And also we are going to discuss the evolution of police service in the Philippines. Let us start with the modern period of policing system in England during the 17th and 19th century. So this was under King Charles II in 1633, who passed a law that provided for the employment of night watchmen or bellmen to be on duty from sunset to sunrise. So, night watchmen or bellmen were known as rattle watch. Why? Because they carry with them rattles while on duty to inform the public of their watchful presence. So, ano ba yung rattle? It is a type of percussion instrument which produces a sound when shaken, no? So, ito yung mga nakakapagbigay ng ingay kapag shinake mo ito, no? So that is the dala-dala ng mga night watchmen during the night. Then we have Henry Fielding, who organized a group of men known as the Bow Street Runners or thief catchers. He later formed the Bow Street Horse Patrol, whose duty was to patrol the main roads, securing the travelers from highwaymen or highway bandits. Then we have Sir Robert Peel, the father of modern policing system. He was the one who established the London Metropolitan Police, which became the world's first modern organized police force. This was later on named as Scotland Yard. Then we will proceed to modern period of policing system in France under King Louis XIV on 17th century. He maintained a small central police organizations consisting of some 40 inspectors who, with the help of numerous informers, supplied the government with details about the conduct of private individuals. So we have two terms here: informant, a person who voluntarily gives information, and informer, a person who is paid to gather and give information. Okay, so in the case of these informers here during the 17th century, they were being paid, no, in supplying the government with details about the conduct of private individuals. Then we have Officer de Pikes. This was in Paris in 1791. So this is the origin of the term peace officer. The French were the first to establish uniformed police officers called sergeant de ville or servant of the city. We have here the other contributions of the French in the development of policing system. They were the one who first introduced the street signs, Ah, and then house numbers, street lighting. It's very important because kapag walang light sa mga streets, crime will happen un, undetected or unseen, no? Emergency and secure services, police ambulance, warrant card, and ID signifying the authority to arrest. Then let us move on to modern period of policing system in America. Policing system in America followed the model developed in England, New York, Boston, and Philadelphia, which organized the night watchmen, and these are similar to bellmen created in London during the reign of King Charles II. These night watchmen are known as wats because they carry a rattle while on duty to inform the public of their watchful presence. Then we will have the development of American police force in rural and city. In 1638, night watch was initiated in Boston, Massachusetts. And then in 1658, watch was organized in New York. In 1700, night watch started in Philadelphia. In 1722, New Haven had a police regulation that no watchman will have the liberty to sleep. In 1800, it became a government policy that all able-bodied males over 16 years old were required to serve without pay. In 1833, this was the advent of daytime police with pay. And then in 1856, the New York City Police began to adopt a full police uniform. Okay, so that ends the evolution of police in the world, specifically uh, America, France. America, France, and England. Now let us talk about our own country, the evolution of police service in the Philippines started in during the Spanish era. Okay, so the police force during the Spanish regime was considered as part of the military system by the Spanish government. The locally organized police forces, although performing civil duties seemingly for the sole purpose of maintaining peace, were in fact directly commanded by the colonial military government. Police forces organized during the Spanish regime were we have Carabineros de Seguridad Público or the Mounted Police, also known as Mounted Police, in 1712. It was organized for the purpose of carrying out the regulations of the state. In 1781, it was given the special commission as custodian of the tobacco monopoly. It was later known as Cuerpo de Carabineros de Seguridad Pública by virtue of Royal Decree of December 20, 1842. And then we have the second, uh, guard, Guardileros, no? This was the second police force organized during the Spanish regime. That was in 1836. So Guardileros is a body of a rural police organized in each town that was created by the Royal Decree of January 8, 1836. This police force was composed of 5% of the able-bodied male inhabitants of its town or province, and its members should serve for at least 3 years. Then we have Guardia Civil. This was created in 1852, created by a royal decree issued by the Crown on February 12, 1852, to partially relieve the Spanish peninsular troops of their work in policing towns. It is consisted of a body of Filipino policemen organized regionally in each of the provincial capitals of the central provinces of Luzon under the command of an alcalde or governor. Now let's come to Japanese regime. So you can observe that our police system is changing as to the countries, no, that occupied the Philippines. Okay? So meron tayong mga countries that invaded our country, and so our police organization was named every after country, no? So we have the Japanese regime, and we have the Japanese military police known as Kempetai, who was held responsible in maintaining peace and order in Manila and adjacent urban areas. Kempetai ruled the urban areas until General MacArthur returned on February 7, 1945. Then we have the Manila Police Department, which was created during the first American occupation, which was renamed later on into Metropolitan Constabulary under the Bureau of Constabulary. So this is Manila Police Department. Then we have the American regime. During the American regime, we have the Insular Police Force that was created in 1890. This was established on November 30, 1890 during the Philippine-American War, which took place in 1898 to 1901 upon recommendation of the Philippine Commission to the Secretary of War. Then we have Insular Constabulary, created on July 18, 1901 by virtue of Act 175. This law was entitled An Act Providing for the Organization and Government of an Insular Constabulary and for the Inspection of Municipal Police. Then we have the Manila Police Department, which was organized on July 31, 1901 by virtue of Act 183. We have prominent personalities which contributed much to the police organization during that time. We have Captain George Curry, who was considered as the first chief of Manila Police Department. Then we have Captain Columbus Piat, the last American Chief of Police of Manila Force Department. And we have Colonel Antonio Torres, who became the first Filipino Chief of Police, uh, first Filipino Chief of Manila Police Department. Then next, we have the Philippine Constabulary. That was in 1901, the Insular Constabulary was renamed Philippine Constabulary by virtue of Act number 255. We have Brigadier General Henry Truman Allen. So, may I check on that? So, Brigadier General Henry Truman Allen, the first Chief of Philippine Constabulary, that was 1901 to 1907. The first enlisted personnel under Brigadier General Allen was 2,500 in number. So the Philippine Constabulary was the origin of the Special Action Force that we have today. Then we have Brigadier General Rafael Crame, the first Filipino chief of the Philippine Constabulary for the period of 1917 to 1927. He originated this phrase, always outnumbered but never outfought. Maliit man sila pero hindi sila natatalo. Revised Administrative Code of 1917 was approved a year before the World War, First World War One, no? Ended August 1914 to November 1918. In Section 825 of this code, it is stated that the Philippine Constabulary is a national police institution for preserving the peacekeeping order and enforcing the law. On January 1, 1932, Act 3815 was created, otherwise known as the Revised Penal Code of the Philippines. So that is where our criminal law took effect. In November 1938, Act 181 required the creation of the Bureau of Investigation. This agency should be the modification of Division of Investigation from the Department of Justice. Finally, on June 19, 1947, Republic Act 157 was enacted, which created the National Bureau of Investigation. We have here important Filipino personalities in the evolution of Philippine policing. We have Brigadier General Rafael Crame, the first Filipino chief of the Philippine Constabulary on December 17, 1917. Colonel Antonio Torres, he was the first Filipino chief of police of the Manila Police Department in 1935. Colonel Lamberto Halavera, the first chief of police of the Manila Police Department after the Philippine independence from the United States of America. That was in 1946. And Police Director General Cesar Nazareno, who became the first chief of the Philippine National Police. We have here enacted laws relevant to the development of police service in the Philippines after World War II. So Republic Act number 157, that was in 1947. That was the establishment of the National Bureau of Investigation. Then we have Republic Act number 4864, or the Police Act of 1966. It says here that it was enacted on September 8, 1966, which created the Office of Police Commission, now called the National Police Commission. We have Republic Act number 6506, uh, otherwise known as an act creating the Board of Examiners for Criminologists in the Philippines and for other purposes. It was approved and took effect on July 1, 1972. And then Presidential Decree number 765. It was enacted on August 8, 1975, which created the Integrated National Police and provides for the NAPOLCOM to be under the Office of Ministry of National Defense. Then we have Republic Act 6040, or the Tolentino Law, that empower the Police Commission to give appropriate examinations to officers and members of police force aimed at professionalizing police services. Excuse me. Then we have Republic Act 6975, establishing the Department of Interior and Local Government Act of 1990. So this law established or created the Philippine National Police and was enacted on December 13, 1990. It abolished the PCINP and created agencies under the DILG, PNP, BFP, BGMP, and PPSC. Okay? So PPSC, the Public Safety College ito, no? Republic Act number 8551, which is known as the PNP Reform and Reorganization Act of 1998, which provides for the reformation and professionalization of the Philippine National Police. Then we have Republic Act 9708, an act extending for 5 years the reglementary period for complying with the minimum educational qualification for appointment of the PNP and adjusting the promotion system thereof, amending certain provisions of Republic 6975 and Republic Act 8551 and for other purposes. So this ends our slide. And for your activity, again, there are multiple choices and AC type. So as usual, please refer to the suggested readings under the references for you to have an additional and better output. For the multiple choices, I always advise you to apply the elimination process in order for you to come up with the correct answer. So This is all, and thank you for joining me.